Hello and welcome to the second installment of Amulet on a Budget. Yes, you played your first couple of leagues, you made some money, as we saw in the last video, obviously, easy money, and now you have that extra bucks that you need. So today we're going to be making a significant upgrade for the very low price of 100 bucks. Like the last time we had, our original deck list was around $300. So today we're going to be bumping that budget by 100 bucks, and we're gonna get a couple of very important upgrades actually. That's going to be enough for us to buy our Dryad of the Elysian Groves, and of course the Valakuts that go alongside it. So we're going to be making this change, and that of course is going to come with an interesting change in the core of the deck, right? Like, because obviously we need to make room for those Valakuts, and we also need to make room for those Dryads. So what I went with was I cut some Explore and some extra Tireless Trackers, and that made room for the Dryads, and then I cut the Gemstone Mines in order to make room for the Valakuts. And this is something that we saw happen precisely with the printing of Dryad, right? Like the printing of both Dryad and Castle Gernberg made it so what in the past was an absolute staple of the format. And in fact, if you watched the video that I made for Ice, where I played some Summer Bloom from way back in the day, those deck lists used to play 4 copies of Gemstone Mine, and Gemstone Mine was kind of the best land in the deck at that point, because we were building the deck in such a way that we wanted to find Summer Bloom as early and as often as possible. So we were playing stuff like Serum Vision, Sleight of Hand, Ancient Steerings, and Gemstone Mine just tapped for mana to cast all of those spells, and it also helped you hit your Titan and stuff like that. So obviously Gemstone Mine like an absolute all-star back in the day, but we have a new all-star, and that's the Castle. So because of that, we made some adjustments. Another small thing that you might notice is that I made a slight split of Celestial Sanctuaries over the Gruul Turfs that we were playing before. And the reason for this is that I wanted to even out the amount of white and red sources, because we're going to be using white and red sources in order to activate our Stronghold and Sunhome, and now we have Valakut as some extra free red sources. So because of that, I like to give more of a prevalence to the white bounce lands, because what that will do is it will give me it will just even out the amount of red and white sources that we get. This also works out for engineering explosives purposes, because it's more likely that you will have up to 3 colors of mana because of the green, the white, and the red. So that's a very small change. You could also do like 3 sanctuaries and 2 Gruul Turfs. Like, it kind of doesn't really matter unless you expect that your opponent is going to exactly Alpine Moon your Celestia Sanctuary. So maybe it's technically better to go for the Gruul Turf. Personally, I prefer Celestia Sanctuary, but like you can go whichever way you want. But that's gonna be our main deck. Our sideboard, we don't really have the budget to make that many changes yet. That's going to be coming in the next installment of the series, but it looks very similar to what we were playing last week. Of course, like, this is preparing for an abstract metagame. I'm not particularly gunning for anything, mostly stuff like Hammer and whatnot, but if you would want to gun for something like Control, for example, if you have the budget for Veil of Summer, that's another option. Or if you have the budget for Savage Summoning, those are also available options that you may have. But obviously, you should make the arrangements as you see fit. Again, like, I'm trying to give you a starting point, and from here, you can always, if you don't expect that much graveyard decks, you can just cut a Relic and add a Veil, or cut an Explosives, if you don't have it, or if you don't expect as much hammer time and stuff like that. So this is, of course, your starting point, and then from here you may have like a little bit of an extra budget, and you can also, of course, just make the changes that you see fit. But we're gonna be playing this league through this list, through a modern league, so hopefully you will enjoy it. If you do, make sure you leave a comment down below and let me know what you liked and what you didn't, and of course hit that like and subscribe button if you will, and I will see you in round number 1. All right, here we go for round number 1. The Sam is kind of interesting. Opponent did not reveal a companion. So any bounce land allows me to play a Primeval Titan on turn number 3, because I can go turn 2, play Amulet, play Gracer, and then on the following turn, if I find any green bounce land, I can just you know, play my Gracer on turn 3 and then play the bounce land twice. I think I'm gonna keep this hand. This is also pretty solid against any Lurrus deck and against any monkey deck. I think we have 2 looks at a green bounce land. That's not really what we want to see, unfortunately. So it's not very likely that our Amulet survives here. Well, there you go. So I'm just gonna go for our brother Gracer here, because now if we find a bounce land, we get to pact for a Dryad, and we get to hit our land drops and stuff. They pitched Fire Ice to the Force, so still don't really know what we're up against, but Explorer is a fine draw. We'd love to see a bounce land here. That's not a bounce land, so we're just going to pass the turn back. Next turn, we're going to get to deploy Asusa. She's not really going to do too much for us just yet. Kitria Triumph. So this is 4-color control with Fire and Ice. Mountain. Oh, this is the creativity deck. Well, that's a lot worse for us. That's a lot worse for us. Definitely gonna play the creativity deck with Force? Huh. I don't think I've seen that ever, really. Oh, it's just like a 4-color version of Rhinos. Bounce land, please. Amulet. Well, I'm gonna make the more mana efficient play here. The good thing is that we are just 1 bounce land away from winning with this Amulet of Vigor, so that's pretty nice. So they're gonna plus the fairy here. What is this? Petty theft. Not even attack with Charlotte's Agent. That's fine. I'm gonna take my chump next turn, I think. Second Charlotte's Agent is pretty bad. We do have 1 copy of Engineered Explosives in the main deck, so if we drew that, we would kind of be in really good shape. We get to go Amulet into Explosives. Wow, we're just not hitting our land drops, are we? Are we just dead here? We can block, and then like they bounce. They didn't plus, so still we're dead though. Like we chump, take 12, we're dead. Okay, that's really brutal. Like we just never found a land in our 32 land deck in 6 draw steps. Yeah, that would have won the game. All right, next. Definitely won these against Rhinos. Tron is interesting. So my opponent's playing 4 colors, which is very nice. Like the 4-color Rhinos deck is a lot worse against us than the Temur version, because they don't have Blood Moon, and obviously just like the difference, it's a world of difference, right? Like having access to Blood Moon and not having access to Blood Moon. And Teferi is not particularly great against us. So I think I'm just gonna bring in some explosives, and that's it. Tron kind of lines up well against their stuff. Probably better than Tireless Tracker, actually. Tron kind of just, you know, it's a 4/4, so it just trades with Rhinos and they can't realistically kill it, so. Alright, let's go with that. I wonder if they have sold the same hand again. I mean, I think I have to keep it. Like, we also have an Explorer, so we get 1 more draw. I think I have to keep a hand like this. Really hoping that we don't get our Amulet forced once again because of... Ooh, there we go. That's what I like to see. Yep, that's exactly what I love to see. So I'm not playing the Growth Chamber, because if I go for Growth Chamber here, sure, I can explore and I can develop my mana, but if I go for Growth Chamber there, my opponent can, on my upkeep, ice my Growth Chamber, and then I cannot cast this Dryad next turn, which would be kind of a disaster. So, well, now that we know that we're drawing another bounce land, we can just deploy our mana. pretty easily. So we go for that, play our extra land drop, and explore. Trying to hit a land here, any land will do. Force of Vigor. That's best thing they could have, because that denies the extra land drop. Pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. All right. Now we get pseudo time walked. Charlotte's Agent's pretty good. Our best draw is Basic Forest or Crumbling Vestige. I think if we draw either one of those, we probably just win. That's not it. Oh, this is so awkward. Super punished. Because now we don't have double green to activate the castle. So we're still on the hunt for... an untapped land. Maybe there's even an argument for just backing for Dryad right there. Just so the Charlottes can't attack. Alright, we did get there. No subtlety one time. There's a multitude of things that we lose to here. Raisin Borrower is a problem. I'm gonna go for Colony Garden Radium Fountain. Our alternative, we can go... So what happens if they have another Rhinos? If they have another Rhinos, we just lose, and there's nothing we can do about it. So they pitch an Outburst to the Force, but they probably have, like, it's not unlikely for them to not have another one. I guess I can transmute with Crumbling Vestige. We definitely have to take the Fountain. I think I'm gonna go for Colony Garden. There's an argument for going for Tolaria West and just assuming that we lose to an Outburst. This is better against Petty Theft. Yeah. So now next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Can go up to 10. Can go up to 10 mana. Oh, they just have lethal here. I mean, you're not pitching Fury unless you're killing me, right? So they're just gonna use Outburst to swing for lethal. Outburst as a combat trick is just hilarious. All right, yeah, we got super blown out by that Force of Vigor. I could have played around it by playing the Growth Chamber instead of playing the castle. Would that have done it? No. So the way to play around it actually is to explore before we Dryad. Yeah, if I had explored instead of Dryad, I think we would have won this game. Yeah. So I actually messed it up. Like, I actually lost this game myself because I time walked myself. I played into Force. But if I had gone for Explore then Dryad, then I would have been able to... Yeah, and I knew already that I had the second bounce land, so that was just a mistake. That was just poor sequencing on my part. I played into the Force when I could have very easily played around it at no cost whatsoever. Yeah, that's the life, like, with this deck. Like, that's one of the problems of playing on a budget, right? Like, your mistakes are just so much more punishing. So, brutal. All right, see you in the next round. All right, here we go, round number 2. Yeah, this seems like a fine hand. Again, opponent does not reveal companion. We're gonna go turn 1 Gracer, turn 2 Dryad. Explosives is an okay card. All we need is a Primeval Titan. All we really need is a Primeval Titan. Crushing Footfalls suspended. Interesting. So I think I'm gonna go for Azusa instead of Dryad because I don't have another ETB untap land. So Azusa allows me to Titan if I draw another land. And I guess they don't have removal for this at instant speed, so there's no reason for me to show them the Vesu. Although I guess it's correct for me to do this, actually. Should have copied my basic because it has the better art. Misplay. So now even if they kill this, I can still cast Primetime here. Drawing the 1 of Explosives. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. We're playing against the Temur version of Rhinos, though, which is a lot more problematic for us. A lot more problematic. Prime time? No prime time. So even if they have Blood Moon main deck, I can steal explosives for 3 off of this Dryad. Which is pretty cool. Because we don't know yet if I need to beat Blood Moon or if I need to beat more Rhinos. Kind of looks like I'm going to have to beat more Rhinos. If we do for Primeval Titan, we're going to be in really good shape. It's not quite. Let's play this thing. Do I want to expose Tracker without a land drop? I don't really. So we're just going to chill here. We're going to take 8 from the Rhinos, block Charlotte's Agent with the Gracer. That prevents me from dying, the Dryad from dying to Fire Ice. Just ducking with those, that's fine. I'm gonna wait one more turn so I can take those Rhinos as well. Not the worst draw. I think I want to kill the agent. I think so. I think my opponent is just going to bounce this on end step, which means that I'm rather just, you know, throw. Sure. We do get to... So if I find another land, we get to play around Fire and Ice. Because the problem is if I crack Clue Token and we fail to find a land, my opponent can tap one of my lands and then I'm not going to be able to crack Engineered Explosives. Definitely getting in there. I think I'm just going to pass here. I think I'm just going to pass and see what they do. Gonna fetch on end step. I imagine they're just going to attempt to bounce the explosives with Bracing Borrower. Yeah. So let's see what we draw. Because if we find a Primeval Titan, yeah, exactly. So I can just crack this to make sure that I don't die. This also gets rid of the petty theft. The borrower just gets killed. And now, sure, my opponent's going to get their Rhinos for their trouble. But unless they have Blood Moon, we are good to go here. So it's kind of Blood Moon or bust at this point. I don't think anything else really matters too much. Well, here's nothing. What's their last card in hand? Like, they shocked for that. Subtlety? The last card in hand is Subtlety? Cryptic Command. Wow. Alright. Main deck Cryptic Command. They probably have one of those. It's pretty brutal. So, I'm probably going to take my chump here if given the chance. And I kind of have to draw another Primeval Titan here. It's 3 damage. It's not enough. That is not enough. But we do win with a Primeval Titan off the top. Because I can... They go down to 6. And I chump block with Dryad. And then I can play a Titan Haste because I have red and white mana. And oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. Like that's just not a thing. My opponent just has it all. Dude, cryptic command. Game 1. Jeez. Alright, so they were fetching very aggressively for, you know, Blood Moon stuff. So I'm assuming that they have Blood Moons. So I'm not going to bring in Tron this time around because I'm actually legit afraid of Blood Moon. I think this is fine. We get Seal of Primordium and Outland Liberator as Blood Moon answers. I could bring in Nature's Claim, but I don't want to overboard. Let's bring in one claim. One claim for one Azusa. We have 3 answers to Blood Moon though. That's a lot. But I think that these versions of Rhinos actually play the full playset of Blood Moons. So we really want to make sure that we have an answer to it, because I don't want to be using explosives to answer Blood Moon. Because, you know, the cost of using explosives to answer Blood Moon is not only that I'm not killing the Rhinos, but also that I'm killing my own Dryads and Azusa. So it's a pretty steep cost, particularly considering how good Dryad is. Man, one-off Cryptic Command in the Blood Moon deck. Big yikes. Some good deck building over there. Some good deck building. Alright, here we go. I guess I'm gonna keep this. It's really good against the Rhinos part of the deal. Not particularly great against the Blood Moon part of the deal. Well, that helps a little bit. Definitely helps. It's pretty brutal. I think I'm gonna get Blood Moon, so I'm just gonna make sure at least I gain some life before that happens. Yeah, if they do have the turn 3 Moon, we're just dead to it. I don't think there's too much we can do about it, unfortunately. At least they're locking themselves out of blue mana, so that's something. There's no way they don't do it though. Yep, there it is. Okay, we don't have force. I mean, our opponent doesn't know that, but we know that. Oh, come on. Come on, really? Just literally top deck the basic island. We do have 5. 5 basic forest. If at any point we draw one of our basic forests, we may have a shot. So there's two ways we're going to be able to do this. I think I'm just going to, if they attack with Rhinos, I'm just going to take it down to 16 and just time walk them. I think I can take this hit. Where are you, basic forest? But it just delays the Shardless Agent, right? Which I'm happy about. I'm a little less comfortable going down to 8, but yeah, I'm just gonna go to 8. Too bad that we went up to 24, which is exactly enough to die to some Rhino beats. In like, it's still a 3-turn clock, like it just doesn't change anything. Pretty rough how everything lined up. opponent could be thinking about playing Fury. That's nice. It's pretty nice. I think I just pass. I know my opponent can Fury my Dryad, but which kind of sucks, but I can't, you know, crack the thing. So they bounce the Dryad, which is kind of fine. I'm not super stoked about it, but I got this time. Obviously, I'm gonna have to crack because I just die. So I'll do that. Nature's Claim would be a fantastic draw. They obviously we're sitting on the Shardless Agent. Yeah. Play another one of these. Redeploy Dryad, green, and 1. Nature's Claim. Second basic forest. Okay. Pact, Claim, Liberator. Any of those cards I'm stoked about. Foundation Breaker. Hardcast for good measure. So Nature's Claim, Liberator, any of those is fine. Pact of Summoner's Pact also pretty good. Take 2. Sanctuary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna hold on to this Sanctuary, I think. They could have another Borrower, which would be kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Getting a couple of forests so I can double spell next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can still double spell, so no need to play out the Sanctuary. Yeah, they bounce my dude. Next turn I can double Titan, but I think I'm just gonna die to a Violent Outburst. I imagine that's what's gonna happen. Yep. So this game there was nothing I could have done. I don't think. I think I played to the best of my ability, but just, you know, my opponent's hand was just too good, right? They just had exactly what they needed. They had the turn 3 Moon. They had the Fire Ice to prevent me from deploying my Dryad and speeding things up. They found their one of basic island before I found my one of my 5 basic forests. They found their one of Cryptic Command in game 1. Like it's just one of those things where it just didn't really matter what I did. Like I was just going to lose that game. It was sort of written in the in the cards already. All right, see you next round. After playing against back-to-back Rhinos, I've never been so excited about seeing Lurrus on the other side. I think this hand is pretty good against the Lurrus deck. We definitely want to see a Dryad effect. Well, there goes my Amulet. So now I actually want to see a basic forest or Crumbling Vestige or anything like that, because they're just going to take the Amulet here. I don't think there's too much of a... I would be extremely surprised if they don't take the Amulet there. The good thing is they didn't play Monkey on turn 1, which is, you know, it's a really big deal in this matchup. Draw Summoner's Pact, which is not great, if I'm being all that honest. Thoughtseize. Alright, pick your poison. Pick your poison. Primeval Titan. I would have imagined that Explorer was the pick there. But what do I know? Being the only castable spell in my hand and everything. Maybe I should have deployed the explosives for 1 there. Yeah, actually I should have played the explosives preemptively. So opponent did not shock, and I guess they have Eclipse as well, so they're probably not playing that Shadow. Snapcaster Mage. Okay. They're gonna Inquisition? No, they're gonna Thoughtseize. Okay. Gonna take the Azusa probably. Actually, there's an argument for taking the Explorer. I think taking the Azusa is better. But they take Summoner's Pact, but I have another pact in my hand. That's very weird. Untap land? It's not an untap land. Well, that's very interesting. Well, we're gonna play that out, pass the turn. Whether my opponent has another discard spell or another snappy. That's a pretty big tell, by the way, that I drew an Amulet. The fact that they know about the Grill Turf, and they know I didn't play the Grill Turf. So we're not going to be using this Castle Garenbrick mana here, so here's an Amulet. You got everything? You got anything from me? You do. This is bad. Like, they should not be countering my Amulet. They should not be countering my Amulet. That was... I don't think that was very good for them. So now I can go play this, transmute for Pact. And I can't play around another discard spell, unfortunately, and that was the T-West was my second blue source, so I kind of just had to do it. And I can't play around Drown anyway, because Drown counters the prime time at this point, because I have 6 lands, 6 cards in my graveyard. So, not looking particularly great here. We don't have access to Cavern of Souls, so it's not like we're drawing towards finding a cavern. So I'm just gonna jam next turn, I think. That's a Dryad. They didn't put Lurrus in hand, so they do have something. So here's an Azusa. Is this good enough bait? It's not. How about a Dryad? Is this good enough bait? Obviously, we're not going to be playing this to play around Collins command. Lightning Bolt, my Azusa. Resolves. They do have Collins command. Yep. Discard a card plus shock, resolves. Yeah, it was pretty obvious that they had K command whenever, you know, the Grixis player just... They could be doing stuff, and instead they don't. It's pretty telling. Okay, we gotta dodge another discard spell. Although I guess that we can pact in response. Yeah, this is not the end of the world. This is kind of fine. They also don't have Delirium. They only have instant, sorcery, and well, never mind. Remember when I said that I didn't have Delirium? I lied. It was just a blatant lie. And Holy Heat. Grixis. Devastating. Oh my god, really? They found Grixis? I just had to dodge that one turn, man. Just had to dodge that one turn. Oh, Grixis is so brutal. One draw? So 3, this is gonna get discarded to the Grixis anyway. So we're just gonna play this out, and now if we draw Tolaria West, we can transmute and cast the Titan. Now the question is, do I attack? I don't think I am, because if they play the Grixis, then I can block the Snapcaster, so I'm gonna be taking 3 from the Grixis, and I don't want to take 2 more from the Snappy, go to 9. But Yeah, so I think if we drop our Meagles, I think we're in good shape. Do I have lethal if I draw prime time? I think I do. I just go get Vesuva, Valakut. They're tapping in a way that means that they don't have Draw on the Lock in hand, and they could. Like, they could be tapping red, black, black, and hold up Drown. Or I guess black, black, whatever. So they could be representing Drown, but they're not. So that's nice. They don't have Delirium anymore for Unholy Heat. So if I draw Titan, I think I'm good to go. And I should win if I get Titan. Titan? Yes. Well, here goes nothing. Is this good enough? Obviously, if they have counterspell, we're dead. But so what we're gonna do here, we have not made any land drops. So I can go Valakut, Vesuva. Vesuva copy bounce, and that's 2 triggers. Then I play my first extra land drop, that's the Vesuva. And I'm going for it again. Like, I don't think my opponent has it, because I feel like if they had it, they would have done something. So we have 2 extra land drops. They don't have Revolt for push, they don't even have push, so now we're gonna bounce the Vesuva. This is my first land drop, and I'm gonna copy bounce land again. I goes face. And now my last land drop is going to be the Vesuva again. I'm going to copy Valakut, and they're going to go face, and that's lethal. Yep, that's what we had to do. That's pretty cool. I mean, my opponent had some really good draws, but I guess mine were better. All right, definitely want Baloth, definitely want Tron. I don't think I want explosives. Definitely want relics. 100% want relics. I don't think I want gracers. And I kind of want Hylas trackers. Maybe going up to 4 is a little bit too much, but we can, in this matchup, cut Ghost Quarter. I don't think I care for a Tormod script. And one last cut. Kind of looking at a Summon Respect. I think Summon Respect is going to be my cut. Amulet is another argument for cutting here. It's a lot of lands and a tracker. We did not see Monkey. We did not see DRC. Opponent moves to 6. I think I'm going to keep this, actually. Like, we know we're hitting our land drops, which is pretty important. I'm going to lead on Castle Garenbrig, because we could top deck Explore. We can still draw it on 3 if I go turn 2 Valakut. It's an Amulet. Do I play it? I think so. I mean, there's kind of no reason not to play it. Spell Pierce? That could be a reason not to play it. They have actual counterspell? Okay, good to know. Because we didn't see that game 1, so definitely good to know that they have actual counterspell. So they're playing more controlling version of the deck, so I'm assuming they're not playing Monkey, which is probably a mistake, to be honest. It's a yikes. It's definitely a yikes. But we'll chill here. We will chill. Next turn, I'm going to go Tracker, which plays into Colligan's Command, which I'm not a big fan of, but... Ooh, okay. So 1, 2, 3. Here's my Tracker. Here's my Growth Chamber. And Kolaghan's command is brutal here, but I mean, I don't think it gets that much better. And if they go for K command, then I can next turn. I mean, I guess I could play around K command by passing the turn, but then my opponent deploys the Lurrus. Like, it's just a disaster, right? And now if I find the prime time, we actually kind of win, because I just get to resolve it for sure. That's scary. Pretty good value they got there. No Lurrus. Let's grab this clue. So next turn we can transmute if we wanted to. They do have Kolaghan's command. Okay. I think my opponent's not very familiar with the matchup, because they've been really prioritizing destroying my Amulet, which doesn't, like, it's not very good. It is not particularly great. They've been the Thoughtseize. So what do I want to draw here? Dryad would be fantastic, actually. Dryad would be very, very good. I think we're going to be... There's a Croxa in our future. I'm going to discard this Gruul Turf to this Croxa. Oh, they're playing Lurrus instead? Okay. I think putting the Croxa into play is just better than this, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why. Here's a relic. Let's crack it. And now 2 cards left. I'm just gonna transmute for Pact and say go. Even if they do have Thoughtseize, we can Pact for Baloth, which is pretty nice. We can also Pact for Tron if you want to play around counter magic. One of the things about playing on a budget that you can use to your advantage is the fact that your opponent doesn't know that you're playing on a budget, right? So my opponent may play around stuff like Cavernous Souls, even though I just don't have the card in my deck. So that's something that you can use to your advantage. Yeah, my opponent's just like, they must be not very familiar with the matchup. Like, this just should not be in their deck. This just doesn't do anything. All right, let's see what we're drawing. Azusa. So I think I kind of want to do that. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can still Titan here. So I'm gonna lead on Azusa as a bait. Here's Pact. Now, do I want to go for Tron or do I want to go for Primetime? Do I think my opponent has the counter spell? I actually don't. All right, show it to me. They need to have exactly counterspell. Drawing the Lock doesn't do it. Yeah. I'm not very surprised that they don't have it because of how they've been playing. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. The opponent's gonna get to draw 2 cards this coming turn. I could have gotten Bojuka there. Maybe that would have been better. Maybe getting Bojuka was a little bit better there. Bubble. So that was their draw. Oh, they drew an unknown. They drew an unknown. Yeah, that's fine. Blue red. Expressive Ration. Okay, I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff. They're doing a lot of stuff. I think I'm still a little bit ahead here. I think that relic was really big game. Getting rid of the Croxa and also getting rid of my own graveyard, so drawing the lock is a lot worse, and it can't answer my Primeval Titan. Yeah, like this, just yeah. Again, they may even name Ursa Saga here, right? Because they don't know that I'm playing on a budget, so we may be able to get a little bit of value there. I imagine they're gonna name Valakut because it's in play. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like, we're not winning with this, right? Like, we're winning with this. This is why I like Stronghold and the double strike land in my Amulet decks, because of specifically this scenario that we see ourselves in right now. Just Titan is good enough by itself to win the game, as opposed to needing Dryad in order to do anything. So actually I may cast the Titan here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can use the Valakut for blue mana. So let's go to combat first. Swing. Let's go for Bojuka Bog and Slayer Stronghold. This makes sure that my opponent can't double block. They can still block plus bolt, but then we get rid of the Lurrus, which is good. We get to exile the Lurrus. Yeah, I'll do it. I guess it's a free block because they think that they can just redeploy it, which is technically true. Let's go for Transmute. Let's get a Pact. Let's play this. Let's play that. And play this. For you. And now I think I'm just gonna Pact for Tron. And then Tron plus Garrison Stronghold can probably get there. No way they can kill the Tron. And extremely hard for them to play around it. I think I'm just gonna copy Stronghold with this Vesuva, unless they have a Croxa or something, or a K command. That's the RC. Yeah, definitely my opponent a little bit inexperienced in the matchup, I would say. Definitely shown by the explosives, like this, a card that should not be in their deck. I mean, if you want to blow up your own explosives, kind of game. Copy that. Dress down. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that's a really good dress down. That's a really good dress down. So I think I want to use Stronghold, but what do I want to say? I think I want to say, I think it's the Thrun. Okay. All right. Guess they did have a way to answer Tron. So if they block with DRC, that means that they can't play it next turn, right? Because if they don't, like, they're just basically forced to dress down next turn. They're basically forced to dress down. So if they're forced to dress down, that means that they need to leave Lurrus back to chump block or trade, I guess. So they do blow up explosives, kind of for no reason, really. So now if I draw a Dryad, I just win. And Holy Heat would be a problem. If their last card in hand is in Holy Heat, we are in trouble. I guess their last card could be another dress down, which could also be a problem. Snapcaster, drown. Yeah, alright. Alright. So that kills the Primeval Titan. And now we have to top deck. Lurrus is a hell of a card. Primeval Titan, Dryad, Castle. Gonna hold on to this in case we find the Dryad. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do here. I just have to pass it back. And we leave Azusa back to block Lurrus. It's not looking great. It's definitely not looking great. We have top decks that win the game on the spot, though. We also did that turn as well. If we had drawn Primeval Titan, we would have won. Nature's Bubble. Oh, they played that from the graveyard. Beating Snapcaster Mage. Snappy doesn't have anything to get back. So they know what I'm drawing. I mean, I'm going to take this, of course. And holy, yeah, this is actually a really bad play for my opponent. This is an extremely bad play. They kept on top, so they're not gonna get punished. But this is a pretty bad play because that unholy hit could have killed my Primeval Titan. Also, they're not holding up dress down, which really surprises me. I guess they know what I'm drawing, so 3, 6, 8. If my opponent is smart, they're going to end step, put back on their own end step. They're going to play dress down. So that was their draw for turn. They left the card on top, which is very scary. The only correct play for them is to end step, dress down, I think. Alpine Moon. They're gonna name Valakut? Bujugabog? Like, this is... I mean, do they know what I'm drawing? Yeah, they know. Okay, so they know what I'm drawing. Never mind. They named Bujugabog with Alpine Moon. Nice. Wow, I really thought that Tron was gonna get there, but dress down really blew me out. Okay, it's good enough for me. Let's go for game number 3. Dress down is such a beating. Dress down is such a beating. I do think this sideboarding is fine. I don't think I want dismembers. I don't think I want explosives. I think this is just fine sideboarding. There's an argument for like cutting an Azusa and adding another Summoner's Pact, but I think this is fine. I don't think I want to go there. Yes, please. This hand is really, really good. This hand is very, very good. Opponent also keeps 7. So I'm expecting some number of discard spells. It's kind of nice that we have 2 very good plays on turn 1. I wouldn't be surprised if my opponent takes the Summoner's Pact. You know, just realizing that I have 2 very great things to do on 1. Unless they have like a very graveyard-centric draw or something. I doubt that the pick is Amulet. Really doubt that the pick is Amulet here. Well, I guess my opponent disagrees. This shows my opponent what I drew, but I don't think that's a big deal. I'd rather just get value from Celestia Sanctuary. DRC. Well, that's forever going to be a 1-1. Tap land will be nice. Explore. I'll take an Explore. It's pretty nice. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. So it's nice that Drawn the Lock is pretty bad here. K command is pretty solid though. I wonder if they're gonna make me discard. Hell yeah. So definitely want to exile my own Amulet here. Maybe I should have waited until they resolve DRC. That was kind of a mistake. Yeah, it's a good. Boom. 3/4/4. Am I pacting for Tron here? I am putting in a lot of pressure. I really want to. I think I'm gonna. Could have gone for Tracker otherwise, but I can't crack the clue, meaning that Tracker would just die to an Holy Heat. And even if they have Alpine Moon named Sanctuary, we're still fine. But we can still pay for Pact. It's not a big deal. I kind of want for them to have Delirium so that my dudes can attack freely. Not worry about a Snapcaster coming in and double blocking my Tron. So I'm kind of interested in them achieving Delirium right now. They put a card on top. So if they're going to enable Delirium here, it needs to be a Luxac Delirium because they already have Collin's command there. Okay, so this means that we're coming in for 8 here. So yes, Sanctuary. 8, yeah. All of the lands enter tapped. All of them enter tapped. All of them are tapped. So I'm going to explore before playing Conley because I may find one of my 4 tireless trackers. Then I can go tracker into land. Okay, so here comes Lurrus. Let's see if they get Delirium. I wonder how Dress Down works with regeneration shields. Definitely attacking first. One and down 1. Then we explore. Tracker? No tracker. And Holy Heat. Sure. Kind of annoying that we're still in a spot where we need to draw something. We're putting a lot of pressure on my opponent, but that's a different DRC. That's not the one they had. We've got multiple draws here. Relic would be a fantastic draw. They do know what I'm drawing, and that was their draw for turn, I think. Blue red for iteration. Butcher Ball would be a pretty good draw as well. They can't cast that Mire. They can't crack that Mire, I mean. They're attacking. Down to 23. Yeah, that's brutal. So I can't not attack, unfortunately. Like, I really wish I could, but I can't not attack. I think I serve with this as well. Because I have a second one. The only problem with attacking with the second Azusa is that now Drown is active. Yeah, and this was the problem with attacking with the Azusa. I could have also not attacked, but if I don't attack, then I'm getting clocked by the DRC, which is sort of a pain. Ugh. Vomit. Opponent has been drawing slightly better than I have. Let's put it like that. Let's put it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. We don't have a third mana. So they're going for Croxa. I think I'm binning this forest. The fact that they found the Croxa is kind of beating. Oh, they fucked it up. Oh, jeez. That's kind of brutal from my point. Like, they just played it as their Lurrus thing as opposed to just casting it. Yikes. That's a big yikes for them. That's a pretty big yikes for them. Sure, but now this thing has to attack. And now they're gonna have to chump block with Lurrus. Otherwise it just dead them. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate for them. That's pretty unfortunate. I mean, they're still in pretty good shape, honestly. Titan? Dryad. So here comes the Champerino. Kind of a wild game, honestly. Kind of a wild game. I wonder if they're just gonna remove their own delirium just so they can use. They don't. Okay. What are the chances they have Snapcaster in hand? Can I draw Primeval Titan, please? Summoner's Pact will also do. That's not it. So if they have Snapcaster Mage, I get super blown out. But I think I can't play around stuff anymore. Like, I'm pretty far behind at this point. So I think I have to attack with both. And if I do, then my opponent's forced to block here. And then, of course, we regenerate. We do get in there for 2. And now pass it back. And now DRC serves. My opponent is down to 2, so this Dryad is lethal. Valakut is lethal. We actually have a lot of just actually lethal draws here. Also, I just realized that I probably should have played this. Because it's very likely my opponent attacks with this. Actually, it's not impossible that they just hold back to block. Okay. They're gonna explosives here? Drown in the lock my Dryad. Okay. Oh, they just have lethal. No, they miss lethal. They have explosives to blow up the plant tokens. They literally just... Oh, opponent. Oh, opponent. Continued not drawing very well. We actually may be able to win this on clock, actually. And I think opponent is just getting too pressured by the clock. Just making some pretty significant misplays. We may be able to win on clock. Something? It's not really something. Maybe I should have held on to that just so I can discard to Croxa. Yeah, I probably should have. Pass the turn. Yep. Man, we drew a lot of blanks there. We really drew a lot of blanks there. Man, I would like to see if I was finding... We had multiple copies of Primeval Titan. We actually had 4. We didn't draw a single Prime Time. We didn't draw a single Tracker. Pretty unfortunate setup draws there. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next round. Alright. I think I'm keeping this. We're on the draw, so I'm not super excited about this hand, but... So turn 4 Titan. Relic of Progenitus. That surely is a card to have in your main deck. We're probably playing against the Blood Moon deck, which probably means we're not in good shape. And it's pretty rough here. Like, we can either play our own removal or we can play our own Blood Moon, but not both. Ugh. I think I'm gonna play our own Blood Moon. but that means that now, like if I want to play Azusa on 3, which I obviously do, then I have to go Azusa into play a land that's gonna give my opponent a trigger, which is kind of problematic for me. We're playing against Skred. So I'm playing a deck from 2016, and my opponent also decides to play a deck from 2016, just to even out the playing field. All right, here we go. Yep. Very, very unsurprisingly. The good thing is that we still, yeah, there we go. So we still have a Primeval Titan here. So next turn we're gonna be able to prime time, get a couple of basics, and we can just sort of act like nothing's happened here. So I think even though we're facing game 1 Blood Moon, which is usually very bad for us, I think we may be in a spot where we can do this. Yeah, opponent definitely playing 2016 deck. Here's my Primeval Titan. I mean, we can even blow everything up next turn. I don't think I want to. We draw 1 of explosives, which is very nice. So I don't think I want to blow everything up next turn. But I could if I wanted to. Fury. Okay, so that kills Azusa. I need trades with my prime time. Sure, I mean, Fury is great. Do they have second Fury? Okay, no second Fury. So I can Pact for Dryad. 1, 2, 3. Play Dryad. 1, 2, 3. I can get Bounce Land. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. So if I do that, I blow up my own Dryad. And then I don't have a second blue source, so I can transmute. And then if my opponent has a second Blood Moon, I kind of just lose the game. I think I'm gonna Pact for... Could Pact for Tracker. Pacting for Tracker is kind of interesting here. I don't think I want to pack for second Titan. If they go land Skred, they get to kill my Titan for free though. I think I'm gonna go for Tracker actually. And we're just gonna draw a bunch of cards. So attack, say yes. Get another forest and growth chamber. Imagine they're just gonna take the trade. There's no way they don't trade, right? Yeah. Makes sense. That's what's up. That's what's up. That is what is up. So now they can Skred my tracker. They Fury my tracker. Same deal. Monkey. Okay, so now green, XX. It's pretty cool. Okay. 2, 3. Play tracker. Draw a card. Draw a card. Like a... So if they have an answer to the Dryad, I think I want to play this. And I'm going to draw another card again. Because if they do have an answer to the Dryad, then that's just an absolute disaster, right? Because then I can't transmute. And then I also can't grow the tracker, so if they do have another Fury, it's just dead. So now they can just like play their Scourge. Yeah, that's whatever. It just doesn't do anything at all. They can get in there with the Fury potentially. They don't. Okay. So, all right, tracker. Let's do it. So I can explosives for 3 here. We can E for 3, kill, 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 kill. I mean, this tracker's kind of taking over though. I just don't really have to do that. Maybe I should play this to play around Skred. Well, now Skred doesn't kill the tracker. Hey, there we go. Well, yeah, I think we're just leaving the tracker dream. We're waiting until we find the second Dryad. Like, we will eventually, right? We're halfway through our deck at this point. So, Valakut, Sunhome. Gonna be holding on to these balance lands for now. There's no way my opponent has Skred in hand, right? There's no way they have Skred in hand. They should have killed the Tireless Tracker a long time ago. This has drawn me like 6, 7 cards at this point. Any land's a good draw. Another Primetime's a good draw. Another Dryad's the best draw. I mean, we will get there eventually. Because with this Primetime's serving next turn. I sure love to beat turn 3 Blood Moon game 1. There's something special about beating Blood Moon in game 1. My opponent slammed it like there was no tomorrow too. Crack blue. What? Why are they? Why don't they just F6? I don't get it. I am very confused. Bingo. Okay, so we're gonna win next turn, I guess. I guess they do have 2 cards in hand. So what I'm gonna do probably is just serve with Titan and Tracker. Because if they are holding up, if they are holding a Skred, and they Skred my Dryad after I blow up the moon, then maybe we could be in trouble. I hope they attack. Okay, they don't attack. Okay, so let's go with that first. Then this, because it's gonna net me mana. Attack with the boys. I guess the boy and the gal. To be more specific. Ha, yeah, I knew it. Terrible timing, by the way. They gave me a Titan trigger for no reason. Not a good time to do that, opponent. Appreciate the effort, but that could have been a little bit optimized. If they wanted to do that, they should have done it at the beginning of combat. And honestly, they should have just killed the Tireless Tracker. I have no idea why they would not kill the Tireless Tracker. They should have just killed the tracker while they had the shot, while they had the chance. So blue, 1. I mean, the good thing is I don't really need to go for anything. I can just wait until I have 3 Dryads in my hand, and there's no way that my opponent can play around it. I just need to make sure that I hold the bounce land. That's the only important part of it. But I'm very easily overwhelming what my opponent's doing over there, so yeah, they're off it. Okay, very good. Like winning game 1, very impressive, honestly. Well, Tracker really showing off why she's my gal. Could probably shave in a suicide. Don't love Amulet historically in this matchup. Definitely don't want Bojukabog. Opponent's playing Monkey. I think I want 1 explosive to transmute for, but no more than that. Definitely many answers to Blood Moon, because that's going to be my opponent's main game plan. I think I'm cutting Explores. And Baloth has always been in a weird spot in this matchup. Like, it lines up. I guess Fury means that I don't want Baloth, straight up. And if they have Magus, I want Dismember. But if they don't, I don't want it. Ballista is usually very good in this matchup. But Ballista is like 20 bucks in paper. So, if you do have access to a Ballista, feel free to add it to the deck, but I wanted to avoid it. I assume my opponent's going to be bringing a bunch of Graveyard of Artifact Hate. And like Gracer is just better anyway, because it gets in the way of Monkey. Man, Skred, it's a matchup that I haven't played in a really long time. I love this hand. Love this hand. Definitely gotta dodge a turn 1 Monkey, because that would be pretty hard to beat. Well, there's that. I think I'm going to go turn 1 Forest. And the reason to go turn 1 Forest is that next turn I want to go... Like, my opponent can Blood Moon me here. And what I want to happen is next turn I'm going to go Sanctuary Go. And just kind of ramp off of the Blood Moon. They don't play the Dryad. Okay. Also, here's a Valakut. Slightly Tracker flooded over here, but could have Blood Moon on 2. Cough off the Hammer. that's kind of a problem. I hate this monkey. I just straight up hate it. Yeah, this is probably like the worst design ever. Well, I think it's fair to say that my opponent was effective at playing around me having an answer to Blood Moon. And I'm dead to the Koth Emblem next turn. Yikes. I was not expecting Koth, honestly. Definitely Koth me by surprise. Huh? Huh? Koth me by surprise? Does that work? Does that work? Well, sorry that you don't appreciate my humor. Yeah, we're just dead here. Yep, turn one monkey. Opponent just went turn one monkey, and like it kind of didn't matter what happened. The monkey just took over by itself. Pretty brutal. This seems fine to me, however. On the play, there's like a little bit of an argument for wanting to go for Amulet. Maybe over-engineered explosive, since we have Liberated to back to get whenever we transmute. Yes, I'm gonna keep this. This hand, as opposed to the one that we saw earlier, like this hand is very good against the monkey, but it's just really bad against an early Blood Moon. So here's hoping my opponent does not have an early Blood Moon, or that we find our basic forest. No monkey. That's very bad news for us. That's very, very bad news for us. Well, please don't wound me on 3. Please don't blood moon me. It's impossible, right? It's really impossible for my opponent to not have blood moon here. I do think that this is a fine draw. Like I'm keeping this hand every time. It's just unfortunate that, you know, the draw that I had in the previous game lined up against one aspect of their deck, but didn't really line up against my opponent's hand. And this is kind of what you're gambling with in this sort of matchup. Like here, if my opponent goes like, if they do nothing and they just play Blood Moon on turn 3, I'm still in fairly good shape. And again, this is why Force of Vigor is not a card that we can put in our deck right now, right? Because it's pretty expensive. And it's pretty expensive because it's so good. So, Dryad. I think I'm gonna go for Asusa as opposed to Dryad. Because I'm not really afraid of any creatures that my opponent may play. Like, Dryad would be good if I was afraid of any creatures, but I'm not, so I'd rather, if I can, deploy the Dryad after I already have, after my opponent has deployed the Blood Moon. Why is my opponent playing so slowly is what I wonder. Like, it's not like they have decisions. Although I guess there's an argument for like the Dryad just being the better creature. And we don't have engineered explosives. Yeah, I mean I can cast Titan anyway. So yeah, I think Dryad's actually better here. Because it's not like my opponent can bolt it, and I at least have something on the board that my opponent, you know, to pressure my opponent or whatever. This Blood Moon's gonna be devastating though. I'm sort of representing that I have Nature's Claim, but I don't think my opponent's going to play around Nature's Claim. Well, yeah, now that I think about it a little bit more, I think I should have actually gone for Azusa, because now if I find the basic forest, we're still not going anywhere, as opposed to if I hold on to the Dryad, I find the basic forest, I play a Dryad, and then if my Dryad survives, I can actually potentially cast the Primeval Titan. So I think, after thinking about it a little bit more, I kind of thought about it a little bit and convinced myself that Dryad was the better play, and now I'm thinking about it a little bit more, and I'm certain now that it was correct to play the Azusa there. Alright, so my opponent was taking forever, and the reason is because they Burning Handed my Dryad on end step. Alright, yeah, so they untapped and they Bloodman me, unsurprisingly. Now we're just gonna die to a Koth, to an Eternal Scourge. Well, basic forest, and we're still in this. Basic forest, and we're still in this. I'm not gonna block the Scourge, because this Gracer blocks Monkey, right? So this Gracer is a lot more valuable than soaking up 3 damage. I think I'm gonna continue playing lands, because we may get to a position, like we have time. Like this clock is not that quick, and we may find ourselves in a position where Damping Sphere. Yeah, this card should not be my opponent's deck. Like it's just terrible. Where I can go Dryad into Titan, although that makes things a little bit less unlikely, I guess. But might as well play the Amulet. I don't expect Shattering Spree from my opponent. I don't expect Smashes Midrange. If anything, they have Shattering Spree, so exposing the Amulet doesn't really do anything. Get to pay 1 more. There we go. Well, that really speeds up the clock, unfortunately for me. So green source. It's not a green source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got 7 mana. So if I find a basic forest, the opponent's down to 1 card in hand. If I find basic forest, I can go Dryad into Azusa. Azusa chump the Bone Crusher. Azusa chump Bone Crusher. Yeah, that's brutal. All right, yeah. Our 2016 deck got destroyed by a 2016 deck. Yeah, that I think that would have been, maybe if it weren't enough to win, it was like very, very close to being, but c'est la vie sometimes. See you next round. All right, last match of this league. Playing against Jegantha, which more often than not means either Tron or Affinity. This hand is good against neither deck, so we're gonna ship it. This one's also pretty bad. This one's good though. Yeah, this one's certainly pretty good. So I think I'm gonna go for keep bottom. I'm gonna see what my opponent's up to over there. Imagine Tron, yeah. Alright. Alright, because we did draw the Primeval Titan, I'm gonna chill now, and I'm gonna play Castle instead of playing Growth Chamber. There's an argument for just putting... Oh, they're playing... Wait, what? Well, I'm pretty confused now. So here comes my tracker. Maze Mind Tome in Mono Green Tron. Okay. So we can Titan them next turn if they don't, you know, destroy us somehow. This could be Dice Factory. Maybe that's what it is. This could be Dice Factory Tron. They kept card on top, so I'm assuming... Or, never mind. Alright, well, this is looking pretty good for us now. So, play that out. Here's my prime time. Vesuva Garrison. And here, I'm gonna put a stop on their upkeep because they missed the land drop, right? They just missed the land drop. And if they don't activate Mace Mind Tome, I think I'm not interested in Ghost Quartering them. Well, actually, never mind. Like, we just win next turn regardless, right? So they're gonna scry. And I guess whether they put bottom or top, it just doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go squatter them, and now we're good to go. Well, that's a twist. Obviously, we go squatter a land. They draw exactly that land. Okay, so this is fine that they're just dead on board. That's pretty funny though. So swing. Sunhome and I guess Growth Chamber. Like, it doesn't really matter. This is just lethal. So they're playing like blue Tron with Jegantha? Weird. That's so weird. Okay, Explosive's probably bad, but I do like me Liberator. And do I like Seal or do I like Nature's Claim? Definitely don't want Fountain. Trackers seem pretty solid. I don't think I want Tron. I think Tracker is a lot more threatening than Tron. A couple of Gracers can go. Just go with like just a little bit of hate. Just play one more Tracker. Mono blue Tron with a random Jegantha. Okay. Just mono blue Tron players are special folk. They sure are special folk. So this hand is kind of shaky on the draw. Opponent kept 7. I think I'm gonna keep it, but like I'm not excited about it. There are a couple of ways that I get blown out here. The fact that my only green source is bounce land and we're on the draw means I'm gonna have to go to this card, which also I don't love. Yeah, that sucks. Snapping off that Field of Ruin. It's actually not that bad because we got the Explore. And I think I'm gonna bait with Asusa. Like, it's something that they kind of have to counter, and if they don't, like, this is the kind of matchup where obviously we're gonna be missing. Oh, just tap out, just like that. Not even attempting to represent anything. I think we go for Dryad as opposed to... Oh, man. I think I gotta play the land, and we have to hope that we find another land. But it's pretty rough otherwise, right? Because like I'm putting significant pressure with this Dryad, and so here's a Tracker, and it's pretty unlucky that we don't get to to trigger a tracker here. But opponent clearly held up counter magic that turn because they could have cracked and hit their land drop. Do find tower. And now, I mean, any land is game for us. Obviously too much to ask. Obviously too much to ask out of my million card deck. So that gets killed. I can double strike. I think I'm just gonna deploy another Dryad. Puts more pressure, and again, like we're playing our own counter magic here. Imagine drawing lands in your 31 land deck. This point is just funny. Red, white, blah blah. At this point, it's just funny. They could have like a bounce spell, or they could have like another contortion, whatever. But I mean, I have to put as much pressure as I can on them. Thirst is very good. I think we're probably gonna be in trouble now. Well, obviously I should have held on to this so I could go fetch a bounce land, right? Steel Hellkite. All right, my opponent's having fun too. This is the fun mirror match. This is the fun mirror match. Sundering Titan is enough. Sundering Titan is enough for me. Imagine finding a land drop, right? Okay. This seems fine to me. Again, I don't think I want Tron. I'd rather have Tracker. This is fine. Yep, keep this. Too bad we don't have an untapped land, but we don't even need an untapped land here. This hand is pretty strong. Force is kind of beating, but not really. That's kind of a nice draw. Just finding the castle there means that we don't care about the thingy. Here, the Spreading Seas, which also we don't really care about. Here we deploy Dryad. And next turn we should be able to... Subtlety? Why are they stopping there? So next turn we just cast Titan. And we can cast Titan through... We can cast Titan through Condescend. They can only Condescend for 2. They're just tapping out. All right, so that's just a concession, I guess. I guess they could have Dismember. No Dismember. All right, that's game. Sure. Let's have even more fun. Here's my Dryad. I guess my Asusa, never mind. So play this out. Float green. Replay this. Green. This. Castle mana. And this is lethal. So now we go get Valakut plus Slave Stronghold. All of these are gonna go at your face. Too bad that my opponent doesn't have creatures that I can kill. It's always fun to do that. Red, white, haste. right, sweet. We got a 2 and 3. We got a 2 and 3. I feel like we got pretty unlucky this league, as opposed to the previous league where we got very lucky. Like we did have a couple of pretty bad beats, like against the Grixis deck, we just drew blanks for a million turns. Against the Rhinos deck, we had multiple chances of catching back up, and we just like whiffed a bunch. Against the Skred deck, it was just, you know, maybe I should have shipped the hand that was good against Blood Moon. You know, it just like our hands just did not really line up well. But I do think that this is a solid option. We obviously got luckier with the other one, but I do think that this deck is better than the other one, like even besides the results from this one specific league. I do think that this is, you know, just like a little bit more of a robust build of the deck. It gives you access to the Dryad angle of attack, which is very, very powerful, as you saw hopefully in these leagues, particularly in that last match. We have access to more, what's the word? More solid, more consistent ramp in the form of Dryad over the multiple copies of Explore. And yeah, I think that the game plan is pretty robust. Obviously, you know, you're just a little bit weaker against counter spell decks and stuff like that, but that's, you know, that's gonna be like that until we can afford our copies of Cavernous Souls. We will get there, fear not. But that's gonna be it for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed it. For next week, we're gonna be adding some extra cards. And let me see, because I already figured out the deck list. So next week is going to be $515 as of the recording of the video. So we're going to be adding some good stuff. But that's going to be it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you will, you know, hit that like and subscribe button. If you are liking this series, of course, let me know in the comments below. And take care. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And see you later. Bye bye.